Hi there and welcome to the ukestuff channel and welcome to this tutorial for the very recent song from WandaVision, Agatha All Along. So this song was released with episode 7 of WandaVision. If anybody's been watching the series, people went crazy about this song and there's been lots and lots of covers for it. So I thought I would make a play along for it as well. So what we're going to do in this video is, first of all, we'll look at the chords you need for GCEA, soprano, concert, or tenor ukulele. Then we'll look at the chords you need for baritone DGBE ukulele, and then we'll talk about strumming. If you want to jump to any part of the video, you can do so by scrolling ahead. There'll be little chapters shown at the bottom of the YouTube window, and then there are also those same chapters in the description below. And if you like the chords here, you'll be able to find the chord chart at ukestuff.info. Some people call those tabs. Ukestuff is a collaborator with the site. All right, let's begin with the chords you need for GCEA ukulele, soprano, concert, or tenor. I'll be playing this instrument. It's the Ukulele K1C ukulele. It's a concert ukulele made out of solid koa by Ukulele in Hawaii. This is one of the original K brand instruments. The first chord you need is the E minor chord. The second chord you need is the B7 chord. Use the same shape as the E minor, but just move everything up one string. The next chord you'll need is the B flat chord. You'll make a partial bar chord here, covering strings 1 and 2 right above the first fret. Just pull against the fretboard, add your thumb for some support, and then add the second and third fingers, and that will be your B flat chord. The next chord you need is the F chord, then the G chord, then the C chord, then what we call the Hawaiian D7 chord. It doesn't actually have a D in it. And then finally the A chord. And those are the chords you need for Agatha All Along on soprano, concert, or tenor ukulele GCEA. Now let's take a look at the chords you need for baritone DGBE ukulele. I'll be using this instrument. It's the Flight NUB 310 baritone ukulele. As of early 2021, this instrument is still shipping with GCEA tuning. So if you want to use traditional baritone DGBE tuning, you'll have to buy other strings and then tune it to that tuning. All right, the first chord is the E minor chord. The second chord is the B7 chord. I rotate my wrist a little bit to make that chord easier, but I really like that B7 chord. The next chord is the B flat chord. You'll put your first finger on the first string, first fret, second finger on the third string, third fret, and third finger on the second string, third fret. The next chord is the F chord, which is a partial bar chord. The first thing you're going to do is put your fingers across strings 1 and 2 right above the metal first fret. Then pull against the fretboard, and then just give a little bit of support with your thumb. You don't have to press super hard, just enough to make sure that the strings are touching the fret. Then reach over with your second and third fingers to make the rest of the chord. That's your F chord. Then you have the G chord, and the C chord, the D7 chord, and finally the A chord. And those are the chords you need for Agatha All Along on baritone DGBE ukulele. Now let's talk about strumming for the song. I'm going to keep it super simple for this. If you want to play something else, you are welcome to do so. Remember, with these strumming patterns, they are only suggestions. Absolutely only suggestions. There is no right answer almost all the time, unless there was an ukulele playing in the recording. And then even if you change something up, that's okay too. So for this song, I'm going to suggest that you just play down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up with no swing whatsoever. You're really replicating the piano part here, which is kind of doing one of these da, 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 all the way through. So it'll sound just like this. If we just play the E minor to the B7, I'll also do it on baritone too. So here's the E minor going to the B7. Yeah, nothing fancy going on there. I'm just using my pointer finger. You could use your thumb, sure. Could use a pick, sure. Could use your whole hand, sure. Whatever you need to do to make that happen. And then I always strum where the body meets the fretboard. That's really important. A lot of people talk about their fingers getting caught or other things. It's usually when they're playing over the sound hole. As a music teacher that teaches ukuleles to students in 5th grade, all the time I'll have kids whose fingers are caught in there. It's because they're not strumming right over the fretboard. That's really the sweet spot, by the way, of the string. So if you look halfway between the saddle and the nut, about halfway is right about where you would strum. That's going to give you generally the best sound overall. Yeah, sometimes you'll play other places for a different feeling, but in general, try to aim for there. So again, it's just down, up, 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 down, up. And if that's really hard for you, remember, play through the strings into the fretboard and then back as well. And that should do it for you. If you need to start slower, that's okay too. Now let's go do it on baritone. All right, I've got my baritone here. Let's go from E minor to B7, the same pattern. 1, 2, ready, go. Down, up, 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 down, up. And that pattern will work through all the song. Just make sure that you get the chord changes where they need to happen. Also, there are a few single strums towards the end. I didn't mark them specially in the play along, but they're there. Be ready for it. The B7, B7, and E minor at the end of the song. The last thing I wanted to talk about before leaving is something that I did not put into the play along. It's the final da-da-da-da-dun. And before you have the E minor chord at the end. So if you want to play that and add it, here's what you do. Second finger goes on the first string 2nd fret. Then you have a couple choices. You can play each one of these independently with your thumb going like this, which would work. Or you can try using some pull-offs and hammer-ons. And I'm not going to go into the details there. If you want to know how to do pull-offs and hammer-ons, you can watch a lot of videos with people that are masters of it. I've got to be honest with you, I'm still learning all those techniques, which is fine. We're all learning things at different times. And 5 years from now, I'll look back and be like, oh yeah, I'm way beyond learning that. But my hammer-ons and pull-offs are not always consistent. And incidentally, I think they do work better on electric instruments. A lot less force needed to make things work. But acoustically, you can do it. So you would pluck the first string holding down the 2nd fret, and then make sure your first finger is still down, and then pick the string with your 2nd finger as you come off the string. So you actually pull the string as you pull off. So it's a pull off. And then you can hammer back on with the 2nd finger. So the hammer on, you actually hit the string hard. And if you do it right, it's going to kind of sound like this. Now you could do another hammer on for the first string 3rd fret, another pull off. So it's 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2. So again, 2, pulling off to 1, hammering on to 2, hammering on to 3, pulling off to 2 again. You could do that, or you can pluck them individually. 2, 1, 2, 3, 2. That one I think gives you the clearest sound, but it doesn't give you the speed necessarily. Whereas a pull off and hammer on situation may actually give you the speed. So again, you pick the 2nd, pull off, hammer on, pull off, like that. And you could also sometimes just repluck one of those notes, like that too. Whatever works for you. But anyhow, so you can start playing around with that little lick and with hammer-ons and pull-offs. Don't be afraid of it. Just try things. And if they don't work, just keep working on them, and eventually you'll get them too. And again, it's all a matter of repetition, 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 learning more, repeating, repeating, repeating. And that's how we learn the music. All right, that should be all you need to play Agatha All Along from WandaVision. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll be back soon with some more uke stuff for you.